So I watched Jackson Ole Sapit's long-winded missive talking about the Kenya Kwisha government and how they have been behind the skyrocketing cost of living and other ills that they have been perpetrating. And then I saw also the Anglican Archbishop in the same breath saying that now President William Ruto, what you should do is tell people that whatever you promised was a lie, that you should now tell them that was unrealistic, that you see, you're still trying to spin even within a statement calling out the the current regime. You see, the problem is we can no longer trust you, church leaders, you religious leaders. You've become, you platformed these the Kenya Kwisha shit show. You're the ones who gave them, you're the ones who validated their treachery, you're the ones who whitewashed all their previous crimes and previous bad reputations, and then you misled your hapless members, especially the older generation of idiots, the ones who listen to you. I think you're already losing touch with the younger generation, who are starting to boycott church, who are starting to not give you money. And I'm pretty sure that that's your main problem. You've started seeing your tithes and offerings decreasing, which is probably led you to make the statement. But if it wasn't for that, you would still be there, platforming the Kenya Kwisha degenerates every weekend. Every time we are looking at them, they are in a tent somewhere. They are always flanked by clergy over there, because there is a psychological effect to that, because they knew that we are targeting, they knew that we are endearing ourselves to these type of audience, especially the illiterate, rural bred people. So that's why there's a you have allowed them to mislead, to use your platforms, your church platforms, previously supposed to be neutral, previously supposed to be used to champion for the rights of the ordinary mwananchi. When they go there on Sunday, they go there seeking spiritual nourishment after a week, after a whole tedious week of going through traffic, going through work. Some people are jobless. So when they come on Sunday, they are coming very innocently. And what do? You guys platform the most corrupt politicians who are there spewing toxicity. And you're there now, you're suddenly playing victim together with the same people that you have coordinated and cooperated with the regime to defraud, to literally destroy. So I think Jackson Ole Sapit's statement yesterday was hypocritical. Ideally, of course, we know that the church lost its moral compass. We no longer look to you, for wisdom. We no longer look to you for spiritual nourishment, because now you've become political animals. Now the bishops want to drive the latest cars, they want to live in pristine houses. You no longer do what you were initially supposed to do. You no longer go visit the widows, you no longer visit the orphans, you no longer use your facility to expand things like hospitals, things like outreach services. Now you've become commercial entities. You're now building flats. You're now building what? You're now investing in land. You've become commercial outfits all the time, raising money for phantom projects. Now you've now gone to become, now you have your mothers' unions, who have now used the schools now to extort and exploit younger parents. The mothers' union are, of course, the older grandmothers. They are now joining the bandwagon. You've now increased. Some of you are running schools, and you've increased the school fees tenfold for imaginary reasons. So you've also profited. You've also profited from these. Can we call it the breakdown of the economic structure? You are now profiting to continue exploiting your very members. Some of you have now your mothers' unions or your churches. They have launched projects like school transport. But you're charging almost the same. You're charging even more than the private operators. Yet those facilities, those assets were acquired through fundraising, through your membership. But you're still charging even schools that you didn't build. Everyone keeps on saying that the churches build schools, that the churches own schools. Which church have you ever seen building schools? Churches, they embezzle the money. The church elders, They embezzle the money. So the schools are built by parents through your constant and development fee, and then there was Harambe. So the church has never been. Show me where a church has donated money to build schools. That has been an assertion because they've been cooperating. As regards to the extortion of parents, is a joint venture between the church and the government. So the government doesn't own any school. The church doesn't own any school. The closest the government comes to own schools is, the city council schools. Those ones were built during the colonial era. Has any new city council, has any new governor, has any new city council authority built, or town council authority built any new school ever since independence? No. So these assertions, these lies is perpetrated to ensure that the continued exploitation of parents. You're saying that you own schools. You don't know the land was donated by somebody, and then the buildings and the structures were built by Harambe, by joint venture between the parents and the well-wishers, and then now you come and take advantage of assets that you did not even build for yourselves, and then now you have these predatory schemes, like now I've told you, the schools and the transport and the feeding programs, because you're no longer pursuing just cause of men. You're no longer pursuing spiritual nourishment for your congregations. Now you've become full-blown commercial entities. So the churches, you have failed your own people. You are losing ground. You are losing membership. We are now. I used to be Sunday. I would, even when I leave the club, I used to know that I'm going to church. But now the church has become the place, the home of all the politics, the home of all the toxicity. You're controlled by the politicians. The politicians come there. They start dividing people. They start doing what? So and then now it's a thin line, because even the most corrupt politicians, the ones we know who are womanizers, drunkards, and whatever, they maintain very close ties with your religious leaders. We can see the camaraderie, we can see the brotherhood between the corrupt politicians and the corrupt clergy. So Jackson Ole Sapit, what you should have done yesterday is you should have first apologized, which I didn't hear. You should have first apologized for misleading your sheep, leaving your sheep at the hands of hyenas. You should have first apologized and say, I'm sorry for using the church. I'm sorry for allowing the church, my church, the Anglican Church of Kenya, to be misused, to be exploited by politicians for their personal gain. I'm sorry that we used the religious doctrine. We crafted and we coined the narratives around the Bible to validate the corrupt regime of Kenya Kusha. We have neglected to stand for the people. You know how when we are praying, we say, I have done wrong and neglected to do right. Jackson Ole Sapit. I've memorized that entire pastoral procedure. You should have come there and said, I have done wrong and neglected to do right. I have sold my clergy for a song. I have mortgaged my congregation to the highest bidder. I am sorry. Now, ideally, you should have also resigned, because Jackson Ole Sapit, you are the same clergy, corrupt clergy over there, who are saying, si uchawi ni maombi. Ideally, you should have resigned. At that point where you are addressing the press conference yesterday, you should have said, I am also tendering my resignation because I have failed, and even God, wherever he is, has seen that I am a master of doublespeak. That even in my statement yesterday, when I'm speaking verbatim as you should, that I did not even come clear. I did not even give the punch that my congregation was looking forward to. That even yesterday you were still trying to insinuate some pro-Jubilee. Because now when you're telling people that, President Ruto should now retune his message from whatever he promised to now, you are still doing the bidding for him. So you're still a Kenya Kusha degenerate, Archbishop Mchungaji, Ole Sapit. So yesterday was just a PR charade. I think that PR show was done together with Kenya Kusha. I think you're still doing some things behind the scenes. So I hope the next time when you host a press conference, you'll be announcing your resignation.